The Weekly Blend, live every week. Fragrance, culture, conversation.
All right, what's good, y'all? Listen, welcome to Tuesday night here at Smell Goods. This is the Weekly Blend, where we have those conversations that are dedicated to, of course, fragrance, community, and culture, and all that fun stuff. So I'm glad to see everybody in the building as you all are coming in. Make sure, if you haven't already, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe, because you want to be back here each and every time that we do these things, as well as see the other content I got going on. So let's kind of jump into the chat, see what we got going on. We got Ricky. Ricky's first up today. Ricky says, "What's up, cracking, Pastor K? Scent of the day is Arabian Crest Ranja." Very nice, very nice. Scent Boss, evening, Kev and Smell Goods family. Scent of the day is Tony Iommi Monkey Special by Surge Off. Very nice, very, very nice. Very good, very good. Joel, Electimus All Stir. So Joel, I want to tap more into the Electimus line I've got, and we're going to talk about it tonight. We've got Imperium, which is, I'm just definitely enjoying that, loving that. But I saw that they, I think, released a new one. So I definitely want to tap more into Electimus. So let me know how that is. First of all, let me make sure I think I'm being heard, but if I'm not being heard, you all would have told me by now. So it's good. It's good. Joel, remind everybody, hit that like. Yes, absolutely. Hit that thumbs up. Definitely want to do that tonight as well. Bishop's in the building. What's good, everybody? How you feeling, Brother Kevin? I am good. I am really feeling really good. It's good in spite of the weather, because we starting to climb up right now. We are hitting those 80s and those 90s. So for some of y'all, that's the summer. We definitely are in this place right now. All right. Joel's in the right chat. Excellent. In the horizontal. Yeah. The vertical, I do go the vertical with StreamYard. It just kind of does it natively. So I'm like, if I pick up some other folks on the on that side there, we'll definitely rock that and have fun there. All right. Which platform on YouTube? Not sure there as far as that. Scent Balls, everybody's saying what's up to each other. SVT Haynes, good evening, Kev. Peace to the chat. Gajal Lamar, very nice. End of the night is Chanel Allure Homme Sport Super Leggera. And I keep wondering if that's a full reformulation or if they just re-released it. I think they just re-released it. I don't think they went through a full-on reformulation process that quickly, but I could be wrong. Bishop's wearing layer of Yeoman Lail takes on Mentor and Lamensite. Now that Lamensite, is it? No, it's the Lovers that I'm definitely feeling. Lamensite, I'm not sure if I've got that one. I'm not sure if I have that one. And Mentor, I'll have to check and see as well. I've got so much from them, I need to kind of go ahead and catalog it again. All right, let's kind of just jump in today. I got a new intro. Let's run it. Let's see what you all think about it. Let me know. Give me your feedback. I'm not a well, I can sing. I haven't sung in a while. I may sing every now and then on the channel. You might have heard that, but I wasn't going to go into full production mode. But I figured let's see what we can do as far as just creating a new logo or new intro, I should say, for the channel. Give me just a second here to get it set up, and then we'll be right back, of course, to get going and get started. All right.
Yeah, pull up feeling like a whole millie. Smell good. They know the vibe is really silly. Got that fresh cologne, now she wanna get with me. Stepping out the whip, the whole city smelling me. Smell good, yeah, that's a luxury. Smell good, level up your energy. Smell good, now they remember me. Smell good, welcome to the family.
All right, so not a full-on Walt intro, not a full-on, just something I put together, something I did. Thanks to AI. Listen, if you all haven't noticed, I'm using AI in a lot of stuff, and AI, this is my hint to each and every one of you. This is aside from fragrance. We're going to talk tonight about just kind of what impact some things are having, I believe, on fragrance. There was a conversation that I saw in one of the Facebook groups that I was like, yeah, we might need to talk about that. And that's going to be our topic tonight. But just as a side note, AI is, I'll say this, and I said this, me and Walt were talking before, and one time, and I said, um, AI is not going to replace people. AI is people that use AI is going to replace people that don't use AI. So figure out ways to use AI, figure out ways to use it ethically. Feel free to you find ways to use it for your benefit, whatever you're doing as far as your job, whatever you're doing as far as your career, all that fun stuff. But yeah, definitely, I recommend that. I recommend that. All right, feedback. Bishop says he likes it. Listen, I'll probably be incorporating that a little more. It was something I put together. Again, AI did the music for me. AI did the video for me. So yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Coach Keith, you're not too late. We're just really getting started, just really getting going. Good to see you as well this evening. Aisha Kumar says, I want to know a perfume which with beast mode projects around 2 feet. Only Middle Eastern brands. It should be very fresh or more of a like, as I just stepped into a snow. Okay, so yeah. All right. Well, here's the thing. Beast mode is one of those things that I've got plenty of videos out there as far as beast mode fragrances. As far as projection, for me, you want projection when you want it to project, but there are some fragrances that don't need to project. Some fragrances aren't meant to project. Some fragrances, and I think that we've gone a little too overboard with this whole beast mode thing. Even though, yes, I'm going to still do videos with it, but at the end of the day, beast mode it's one of those things that we just use to kind of talk through. All right. Love the words of the song. The AI is so on that one. Yes, it is. Yeah, AI typically is so. That was really it came up with it. I kind of played around with it a little bit and did some more. Aisha, whatever how you pronounce your name, intro is sick. Thank you. Appreciate that. Likes the intro. Use AI daily. Makes my job that much easier. Absolutely. AI. And I'm switching over to Claude. I'm actually switching my stuff over to Claude. I use ChatGPT for a lot of things previously. And there's still some things I use ChatGPT for, which are still right now, they're pretty good on. My stack right now is for graphics. I use Gemini with Nano Banana. I even use now graphics somewhat for ChatGPT. But for my resume enhancement and my writing and all of that stuff, Claude is where I'm actually probably switching more things over to. So, but my main thing is figure it out, get yourself some AI tools and start using them. All right. Joel says, I started to use AI with my Instagram center of the day post lately. Yes, I need to get better at my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, please go ahead and follow. It's Smell Goods IG. But I have to get better about my Instagram. In fact, my focus is probably this week. You'll see a lot more content out from me on Instagram, just because I've got to get that going as well. I don't know that I'm going to go over to TikTok. TikTok is a little too, it's too much for me. I think that the way I operate is going to work really well on YouTube and on Instagram. I may put some stuff from Instagram over to TikTok, but most of my stuff is still going to be there. All right. Is Comra good? I enjoy it. It was one of the ones that I first kind of came into the place with as far as fragrances. So Comra's good. I prefer right now, of the 3 Comras that are out, I prefer the Comra Ducan. That's the one that I prefer. Definitely for me, a little more masculine, a little more spicy. Definitely works a little better for me. That's my thoughts. All right. Yeah, Claude is much better. Absolutely. Thank you, Joe, for putting that in there. That is the Instagram. Go ahead and give me a follow. And I promise I'll get more content out there, more sent to the days. I'm going to get back to my my first note for first thought. That's something I'm going to get back to as well. Just doing that as far as fragrances and giving some wisdom, some thoughts, some things that are going to hopefully help you navigate life a little better, right? Let's first start with our conversation. This is kind of the big conversation I wanted to kind of have tonight. Let me put this up, get this up here. I'm in a bunch of Facebook groups, and I definitely, I definitely recommend, especially if you're looking to maybe get some other fragrances and don't want to always do retail, with a grain of salt, use some of the Facebook groups, what have you. Again, do your own due diligence, what have you. But in one of the places, there was a conversation that I think is definitely worth to have, especially with all that's going on right now in the world. Whether or not it's called what it is, we're at war. Right now, there's things going on in the Middle East that definitely come off like a war, even though I understand it seems as if our news here in the US is being blocked or being censored. We're not getting the full truth. But there's something that, as it relates to fragrances, that someone put out there that I think is very much worth a discussion. All right. Hopefully, let me get that up there so you can see. Let me go full screen with it so you can kind of really see there what it says. So this is from one of the fragrance marketplace groups that I'm in, and it is a guy named Rafai Baig, and I know he does some selling and some stuff like of that nature. Been pretty solid in the group from what I've seen. But he wrote this basically: all right, listen up, my people. I'm going to keep it 100 because I don't want to see anyone in here getting burned or crying when prices double. I've been doing a deep dive into what's happening with the shipping lanes in the Middle East, especially or specifically the Strait of Hormuz and Jebel Ali. And let me see if I can't. Yeah, let's see if we can make this so you all can see a little better. And let me tell you, it's looking rough. We're looking at a serious supply chain freeze. Here's the scoop on what to expect, and more importantly, how to protect your bag. The situation, it's about to get dry. The bottleneck, the main exit door for everything coming out of Dubai is basically welded shut right now. Nothing is moving by sea. The brands, and it's not just the budget houses like Latafa, Afnan, and Rasasi feeling this. Even the luxury giants are hurting. Amouage, their last container shipment to the U.S. was December 1st. This was months ago. Now, I don't know that for sure. I don't know if he knows that for sure. But if we understand how shipping happens, they're not probably shipping every month, but that does sound like it might be logical. Again, we can't say for sure, but still take that information with a grain of salt. All right. The cost, I saw a quote for a cargo container that was $4,000 higher than before. That is insane. No air rescue. Think they can just fly it in? Air freight is on hold. Desperate measures. Suppliers are trying everything and failing. One niche supplier that this person knows tried to get creative routing through multiple countries. Guess what? It got held up indefinitely in France. The workarounds aren't working. And he goes on to just kind of saying, hey, be mindful of what's going on, be mindful of prices and all of that fun stuff that we have there. So where are we at? There we go. All right. Had to figure it out. So here's the question at hand. Are we prepared? We've been seeing the prices of, for example, Latafa and Afnan and Armaf. We've been seeing it go up. It has been going up gradually. When I first really started jumping into fragrance enthusiasm, when I first started really jumping into the space, yes, you could get the new Latafas for 30, maybe 35. Those days are gone. You're now getting new Latafas for 50 and 60, right? So the question is, is it possible that we will see $100 bottles of cologne fragrances? And will y'all pay for that? Because that's going to change the conversation, even as far as it comes to what some people are saying as far as value and things of that nature. Is it possible? Because we've already seen, I don't know about where you all are, but for me, where I am in Phoenix, gas has jumped. Now we're up like probably a little over $1 now, because I think we're right at about $1. I think we've gone up about $1 in the past few days. So gas is going up. Oil, of course, is going to be going up. The countries are tapping into reserves and things of that nature. But when you think about all the things that gas impacts, right? We're talking about not just the fuel for your car, but fuel for stuff to get to you. So if it's going to cost more for stuff to get to you, companies aren't willing to eat that. They're not willing to take that into their budget. They're going to pass that cost along. Just like, if we're honest, they've already done with tariffs. So we're about to see, in my opinion, we're probably about to see prices go up on fragrances, which means that you've got to really just kind of be wise. And I know Walt has been doing a phenomenal job of saying it. I've been, kind of echoing it as much as I can sometimes. But just as far as even where if you notice, I've been slowing down as far as the fragrances. There's probably some things I'm picking up very soon, but we're about to see some things that are probably going to impact the market, impact what's going on, which means that you may hold on to stuff. You might find yourself doing decants. I was kicking around even before I saw Walt was doing it. I've been kicking around doing decants out of my collection just because I know there's no way I'm going to, wear everything that I have here. So I'm probably going to start decanting mine and selling, 5 or 10 mLs. That's probably something I'll be doing shortly. And then as we're looking at just how things are right now in the market, we might see higher prices, even higher than what we've seen in the fragrance space right now. We'll probably see it even more, but that's due to gas, in my opinion. All right. Let me just kind of go and see what we got going on in the chat. 50-year-old with a cradle cap is wild. Okay. I don't know what that means, but okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely a war, Keith. It's definitely a war. It is definitely, regardless of what we say or what's being told to us, let me say that. Regardless of what being told to us, we definitely are in the midst of a war. And just my own personal sentiments, I know this is not necessarily fragrant, it's about to probably get a little worse. I have some thoughts as far as just how things may begin to go, not only over there, but how I think things may start to go over here. So yeah, we're talking about, and this is just a side note, do with it as you will, but we're about to get a solar generator. We're probably looking at a solar generator just because if stuff starts to go crazy and grids start to be attacked or whatever it may be, right? We want to make sure we're good. So that's just my thoughts on that. All right, everybody's coming in. Kicks, good to see you, my guy. Good to see you. Joe says, worst comes to worst, buy from Canada. But here's the thing, Joe, we're saving as far as buying from Canada, but we're paying because we still putting tariffs on it all, right? So it's like we dogged if we do, dogged if we don't. That's kind of how we are right now, as far as just we've got some I say problems. That's my thought. Jeff says, just got my Latafa Musaman Black Intense. It smells so good. Hawaii, Rasi Hawass, London on the way. I've not heard great things about the Hawass London, but let us know, report back, let us know what you think of it. I've not heard necessarily great things, but that's, let us know. All right. $100 clone is going to have designers make a comeback. True. I agree. If we start to see $100 designers or $100 clones, what that's going to do is it's going to make the difference between buying the clone or buying the original. It's going to close that gap. And so then if we're talking about, whether or not I spend $100 or $120, for $20 more, I can get the OG. That's what I'll do. Like, there's a new one I've seen out for this. There's a new clone I've seen out. I think Walt has talked about it, for Ingenious Ginger. Ingenious Ginger is not that expensive, in my opinion. It's niche quality, niche level. It's a niche, but it's not outrageous. You can get this on discounters for a pretty reasonable, for about $120, I think. So, and if you get even the smaller bottle, the 1.7, you can get that for, sometimes if you find it, under $100. So in that case, for me, I'm like, why would I even get the clone of it? Because the OG is so reasonable, in my opinion. So yeah, $100 clone is going to cause there's going to be some problems there, right? Keith says, I'm not blind buying a fragrance for $100. I agree, especially not a clone fragrance, right? Not a clone fragrance, right? Now I have blind bought some other fragrances, but my blind buying is more, how can I put it? My blind buying is more informed. So my blind buying is not just, ooh, I see it, I read notes, and then I just go ahead and pull the trigger. I have a few other people whose nose I trust, and where our nose aligns, when I've done blind buys, that's kind of been it. But we're facing a point right now where even the blind buying is starting to really fall off and taper off. All right. Joel says some clone fragrances here in Canada were already about $80 Canadian dollar. Yo, see, that's, and so we're about to get into some spaces right now where this war is going to have major impacts, I believe, in a lot of ways that we're not really thinking about just yet. I was even reading something recently about how the things that are produced from gas and oil also fuel like chip making and AI and data centers and whatnot. So we're yeah. There's some stuff going on. Just be good. All right. Gas here is way lower than in the US. Yes, right now, and I think you all have your own oil that you all are doing. Of course, US has its own oil, but I think part of ours is also just the consumerism that we do, the I forget the word I'm looking for, but basically how everyone is just trying to make as much as they can. I think some of what we've seen as far as gas prices going up is reactionary to the potential, but I think that we're going to see it climb even more just as a result of there's nothing coming out of that area for right now. So just be be easy. Just be easy. All right, good to see you, my guy. Just sailing in. Good to see you, my guy. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping through. Walt says, man, we already got $100 clones. Yeah, but I'm talking about when we start to see Latafa, Afnan, and Armaf, like they're just like, or even better is Fragrance World. When Fragrance World starts to hit $100, like Fragrance World, not French Avenue, when Fragrance World and Mason Alhambra hit $100, we know we're in trouble then. The question is, can you wait for the designer to hit 100? That's the thing. And you know, Walt, you've been sounding that alarm, and I definitely agree with that. Is that if there's that little gap between the OG and the clone, just wait another 2 weeks, right? For me as a content creator, yeah, sometimes I'm getting things because I know it's going to be content. I know it's going to be things that I can go ahead and talk about. And to borrow from Walt, that bottle's going to clock in. It's going to do what it needs to do. But if I'm just a person that is looking at getting fragrances, yeah, at some point it's like that $20, just as far as the quality, just as far as the, original versus clone, I might just go ahead and hold off another week for that $20 to get that other one out. So, all right. Let's see here. In Canada, things starting to shift and change here. Having lobster fishing company almost cried yesterday, filling up all the boats. Diesel prices are ridiculous. Yeah, I saw diesel here where I'm at right now. Gas itself is like, I just went out a little earlier today. Gas itself is like $4.35, $4.45. Diesel was hitting 5 something. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, y'all. Let's kind of jump down through the chat a little more. Keith says everything I purchased costs more than $100. I smelled in purpose and I'm too cheap. Yeah, I get it. Definitely. I definitely applaud that. Some of us don't have that restraint, but definitely knowing what you want, knowing what you like, and putting nose on it. Absolutely. About to start selling a gas. Duchess, I'm selling gallons of gas on the low. Ski hooski. Holla at you. Yes. So here's the thing. That's why I said gas, yes, but I'm also, this is my way of sliding in maybe a suggestion because of just some things that I'm seeing, some things that I'm hearing, some things that I'm kind of picking up. It doesn't hurt to have a generator on hand, and it doesn't hurt to have a solar power generator on hand. That's just my thoughts. Get you an extra bag of a big bag of rice, get you some extra bags of some staples. Cause yeah, and here's why I say this. I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I am, just so y'all know, I am kind of a conspiracy theorist. I consider myself a critical thinker. I think through and I look and see patterns and I see these things, but just some things that I'm looking at and saying is like, okay, at least be prepared. So stock up on the staples, stock up on stuff, just because we don't know what's going to happen. And because also, here's the thing, we don't know, at least in America, we don't know the full story of what's actually happening, right? We saw where initially they said that there were 3 people that were killed over there. Now, and no injuries or anything of that nature. Now it's jumped up to 140 injuries and 6 or 7 deaths. But I'm getting reports and other news from outside the U.S. that is saying, no, there's a little more that's going on than that. They're saying that the Germany hospital that we, typically would send our soldiers to, that's starting to really be full up. So because we got a lot of stuff that we don't know for sure, I'd rather just go ahead and take the necessary precautions myself and be ready. All right. SVT just paid $460 for premium yesterday. I'll be limiting those Burlington Marshalls runs for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to just pop by Marshalls or really Burlington's in my area, but it's too much right now as far as gas. It's too much as far as gas. All right, let's kind of jump down here. Smell good. Okay, says got my first chance sold today. 7 slices is next, but definitely going to get a few from the house. Yeah, there's a couple. I think I did put those on 7 slices and Vanilla Matrimony and Muffin Man. Muffin Man was nice too. Muffin Man was nice. Starting to be more intentional in my fragrance purchases and everything else. Number 1 rule: I try to avoid redundancy when I consider a new acquisition. Absolutely. In fact, I'm getting to the point now where I would do, and y'all have seen some of the content I do as far as like Clone Wars. I don't do a lot of Clone Wars just because for me, unless something falls into my lap or unless something just kind of happens upon, I happen upon for a real good deal, I'm avoiding even the redundancy of clones. I'm going to get the one that I may feel the best about and then just kind of go from there and we'll see. But yeah, even redundancy as far as clones is starting to go away for me just because I'm buying this stuff. Now, if French Avenue, shout out to French Avenue. Hope y'all are watching. If French Avenue, because I just sent y'all a message. Holla at your boy. But if French Avenue wants to send me something, and then Latif wants to send me their version, and then Afnan wants to send me their version, and I'm off one, cool. I'm good with that. But as far as what's coming out of these pockets, yeah. Jeff asks, have you tried Collage Onyx Silver? I like it now, but it doesn't last long. I haven't. I know Walt just put out a review, I think, today on it. So definitely go check out Fat Boy Finesse. He's got a review, I think, up on that. So definitely check that out. Jims is in the building. What's good, Jims? Good to see you, my guy. Question. Is anyone going to ASD next week in Las Vegas? I'm asking because I might be heading that way. I might be going. I'm looking at it. I got a hotel, looks like for like $90 for the entire time that I'll be there. And for me, I can drive right up there. It's like 4.5 hours. But is anybody going to ASD next week? Just let me know. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Scroll down a little. Jason was good. What's up, Kev, and everyone except Jim's at AK, the Dirty Mac of Frack. Jim's been selling decants at his job for weeks. Yeah, Walt, I'm not taking your idea because I was thinking about it myself too. You just kind of beat me to the punch, but I'm probably going to be launching some decants on my side as well. So definitely one way to keep things going and moving forward. All right. In the cul-de-sac family, yes. Let's get down here further. Let's see what else we got. That says Lucky in the house, wild and with the formulations, got a notification twice a week. Him talking about got a new creation. Hey. Okay, so Walt says I get 6 hours, but most of the projections in the first hour. Perfect. I think you're talking about that Onyx Silver. My thoughts on Vanilla Matrimony. That is, I put nose on it twice, I think. One I know was at the Black Nose Lab in Atlanta. I really did like it. I was just like, it might be a little too vanilla, a little too sweet for me, just because I like gourmands, but I can't go around smelling too photorealistic, right? I can't go walking around smelling too photorealistic as far as just smelling really good and sweet. But it is a nice fragrance. It's a wonderful fragrance. That might be something that when we go back to Atlanta, I'll have my wife check out just because, yeah, it's one of them ones. But Vanilla Matrimony was definitely a nice fragrance for me. Definitely one. Scent Boss says, I served 21 years in the United States Navy. War is a game played by the powerful and paid for by the lives of the powerless. Regular gas in SoCal is 5 or more. Scent Boss, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. You are not lying at all. The fact that we have a war being started, and we're just gonna call it a war because that's what it is, being started by someone who, and again, if you have legitimate things that keep you out of military service when you're called up, you have legitimate things, right? We were checking, my son has a legitimate reason why he would not be able to be drafted. So we're like, we're good. But you have someone that has used his entire life, entitled life, as it were, and has never really had responsibility of too much of anything or had accountability, starting a war, now putting people's lives in danger, and then not being honest about what the reason is. Yeah, we got problems. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. So, okay, so you registered for it, but the flights, I get you. Yeah, the flights, because I even looked at, because I was like, with the way gas prices are, me driving up, I was like, could I save money by catching a quick flight from Phoenix to Las Vegas, getting on in them Southwest flights that they, $59. They talking 200, 230, 240 for me to, not even be able to choose my seat. So I'm like, I'm gonna just probably drive up there. But flights, that's the other thing. Flights are going up. Flights are going up like crazy because, again, jet fuel. Just another thing, another example of everything that's being impacted by this war. And so even just, again, my original thesis, my original thought, and my original statement was, we're going to see prices go up in fragrance. We're going to see prices go up as we're seeing them right now in flights. We're seeing prices go up in gas. Prices are about to go up in a lot of ways. So making sure that you have a game plan in place. Yes, we have fragrances. We're going to definitely continue to enjoy the fragrances, but I'm not going to enjoy the fragrances at the cost of everything else. So absolutely. Jim says his aromatics bottle's been clocking in. Yes, you clocked in a whole lot in your live the other day, bro. Them bottles have better paid off tremendously for you, because that was an aromatics video. No shade, but that was an aromatics bottle video for sure. As EQ said, not working hard enough to get paid, apparently. Yeah. $90. Where am I sleeping? The dead. I'm at the Luxor. I'll be at the Luxor in Vegas. It's not the best hotel / resort in Las Vegas, but the Luxor, $90, $45 a night, and that takes care of even the the resort fee. Yeah, we're doing that. Absolutely. Not a hostel. I found a hotel. I got the Luxor right now, because here's the thing, because Vegas is it's the middle of the week. Vegas, sometimes you can find cheap deals. We've run up to Vegas really quick, really cheap, just because if you stay at one of the resorts, may not always be the Bellagio, it may not be the Venetian, it may not be one of the top ones. But if you're just planning to go up there just to hang out for a little bit, and you're probably not going to be in your room a whole lot, you can do Vegas pretty nicely. All right. Jason, no, we don't. We don't do that. Nah. First of all, my wife's from DC. We don't do that. There's two things I'm afraid of: God and my wife. Just joking, but for real, we don't do that. All right. Napping on the poker table is crazy. Listen, if it comes to it, but at the end of the day, I'm thinking about going. I'm really thinking about going just to try and make some connections, just to kind of see what's there, what's available, and see if I can get some sneak peek on some things that are coming out. I know there's like 3 new Latifahs that just dropped that I don't know about. There's like, they're in the same bottle as that. They're in the like Art of Universe, the Pride bottles. They're in those type of bottles. I know there's New York, London, and I want to say Paris. I'm gonna try and see if I can get nose on those and see what I find out about them. But yes, sir. My best friend's son was deployed. Well, we'll be praying for him. Definitely be praying for him. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, here's what's crazy. I had a thought. What if our friend, our black friend, y'all know what I'm talking about, what if he wants to show up in Las Vegas? Because I think he mentioned it. That'll be interesting. Let's just say that. Because he missed a deadline. He missed a deadline for sure. All right. Let's kind of jump through. What else we got going on? Funny how both times we saw a price increase like that. Yep. We could get political. We could have the entire conversation, but yes, we have to recognize, you have to recognize patterns. You have to recognize that we're seeing things and we're being gaslit. We're being gaslit. And so therefore, yes, we're seeing a lot of things that are taking place, and we're early in the administration. That's the other thing. We're early in the administration. Here's another prediction. Again, I told y'all, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a critical thinker. Just be prepared for him to try to hold off on the midterms. Just saying, just be prepared. Just be prepared. Let's see, George. Okay, first of all, that image is very interesting. Now Dubai is in chaos. I'm sure the prices of Latafa, Rasasi, Armaf will rise due to war impact. Absolutely, that's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. No shade as you throw shade. It's not shade. It's just an observation. It was just an observation. Listen, James is my boy. James is my guy. But that last live, and even I know Jason was pointing out, it was a lot of aromatics in that one, but it's all good. It's all good. It may be disrespectful, but and I don't do a whole lot of cursing, but it's on brand. I'll just say that it's on brand. Marion, what's good? What's good? Walt says he ordered the New York joint. Okay, let me know how that is, and you'll be a good one, because I know you're not a fan of like some cherry fragrances, and I think it's cherry up top. So let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your thoughts are. All right. Timeshare, get them Bellagio rooms for the price and ice cold. Get right. Yeah, that's the other thing. There's ways to stay in Vegas pretty reasonably. Here's another hint for those of you. If you ever want to come to Phoenix, Phoenix is best, of course, as far as pricing during the summer. You can get into a nice resort really cheap. Now it is the summer in Phoenix, and you're going to feel that heat. But if you want to just kind of get away, get up to the mountains, what have you, stuff like that, and lounge by a pool, you can do that very reasonably here in Phoenix. My wife and I will do that all the time. Like during the summer, we'll just take a staycation, run up to a resort, pay very little, and do that as well. All right. Yeah. Yes. That's yes. If he shows up in Vegas, that'll be interesting, but I doubt it. I don't know if he can leave the state right now. I still don't know if he can leave the state. Yes. Keep going on. Well, you praying something different than I'm praying. Because if I see him, yeah. All right. Let's keep going down. Let's see what we got going on. Let's see what we got going on here. Instantaneous combustion in June. Yes. Here's the thing. I'm used to it now. I'm used to the heat here. I'm used to it. All right. Let's kind of I wanted to also talk about some of the spring fragrances. I did a review on this one here, which I got towards the end of last year. But it is one that I'm definitely enjoying, definitely rocking. Did a quick video on it. It is this one right here. It is the Atlantis from French Avenue. This watermelon is undefeated for me. The watermelon, the coconut. I know there's, like I said, there's some orange and some other stuff that's up top, but I don't really get that up top on this. The watermelon is really what comes out to play, along with that coconut is really what kind of comes out nicely for this. Definitely something that is good for spring, really probably even more solid for the summer. Just a nice fruity fragrance that has some body to it. Performance on it for me is working really good. Definitely something that, again, I picked it up like November of last year. So I haven't had a chance to really wear it until recently. But this is one that I'm definitely feeling, definitely enjoying, and definitely might recommend if you're looking for something. This is supposed to be in the DNA of Wave Child by Room 1015. Again, not a one-to-one in the space. Yes. Does it put you in the frame of reference? Yes. For me, this is a nice, solid one that I would probably rock. I don't know that I'm going to go ahead and get a full bottle or get a bottle of Room 1015 and Wave Child. This is probably going to be what I would wear. But I was playing around, and I'm going to play around a little more. Jims, you'll probably enjoy this. Just, tell Neve to go ahead and send me a check for this too. But I'm playing around with maybe doing a layering of these two, of Frostbite and the Atlantis, just because that fruity nature up top really hits on both of them. But then the dry down is where I'm really kind of investigating, seeing how that flows all the way through. But just because they're both have some of that heaviness towards the bottom. But that might be a layering combination that I will report back on and let you all know. But that's something I was just playing around because, sometimes I'm bored. Sometimes I'll just go ahead and be like, what does this smell like with this? So potential layering combination, I'll let you know. I'll report back for sure and let you know what I think. All right. Let's jump back in. Let me jump back here. So there we go. Okay, there we go. What frag am I really looking forward to getting next? As far as me, well, what I'm really looking forward to getting right now, even though it's probably going to be out of season, is House of Cosmo. I pre-ordered from them Element Delta, which is a tobacco. I can't remember all that's in it. It's like tobacco. There's some menthol, some other things in it. That's the one that I'm really looking forward to, because that's the one that really, for me, from House of Cosmo at Scent Explorer, I was like, that's the one that I had to have. Now, I do have Nova from them. I've got Crimson Aura, and I have Galaxia from them. And I'm supposed to get a sample, I think, of New Eden and Lunar Mineral. So those are things that I'm definitely, but as far as what I'm really looking forward, I'm really looking forward to getting that Element Delta. Beyond that, I'm trying to think, there's nothing that I'm like really pressed about getting. I have a couple of things that are kind of in carts that I may pick up at some point. I do want to check out the 9 p.m. Night Out, just because I've not put nose on it. Want to check that out. Other than that, it's kind of what strikes my fancy at the moment. I was saying earlier to Joel, I do want to check out some more from the Electmus line. They have a new one that I definitely want to kind of at least put some nose on. That's the other thing. If I go to Vegas, I'll have the opportunity to put nose on a lot more, because the Neiman's there is stacked full of stuff. So absolutely. Bishop says, word of caution about Phoenix. I'm from Florida, and Phoenix is a different kind of heat. Yes, ours is a nice dry heat. There's no humidity here. It is a dry heat. It's like walking around, and people, as far as the analogy, it's like walking around in an oven where it's like you just know it's hot, but it's still bearable. That humidity that I've picked up when I'm in Florida, when I'm in Atlanta and things like that, it could be 80 degrees, but that 80 degrees at 100% humidity is miserable for me. I will take 100 degrees with 0% humidity any day of the week, because I can get into an air conditioning. I can get where I need to go and be okay. But yeah, it's a different heat here. Absolutely. I will say the first time when I first moved here, it was kind of crazy that at 9 o'clock at night, it was still 100 degrees. It's still crazy sometimes to think about that, but that's only really 3 months out of the year. The rest of the year is wonderful. The rest of the year here is really nice. You don't have to worry about a whole lot of stuff as far as weather. We don't get snow. We get rain occasionally. But yeah, I mean, Christmas being 65, 70 degrees, I'll take that. I'll take that. All right. Go through here, see what else we got. George, Mont Blanc Star Wars, Lacoste L12, Paris Corner Wood Intense are go-to strong spring fragrances. Nice. Atlantis is a banger. Yes, I have this in room 1015. Boy Chow, both are great. Now, do you find them redundant, or do you how do you use them? Because if you got both, if you have the OG and the clone, kind of what's your thoughts with that? As far as, are you using one to kind of supplement the other? Are you using one for just like every day, and then the other for your more special occasions, or what it is? Let me know, because that's interesting, as far as having the OG and the clone, right? I have Latafa Mishla on the way from Sloman Shop since Valentine's Day. Really want to get it in hand. I keep thinking about that one. I'm not sure I'm going to grab that one, but I keep thinking about it. All right. Marion says, yes, it is close to the OG. Very good. OG, yes. Again, loves the OG. Jim says, it's good when Atlantis is enough, but also Game of Joy. Yes. Yes. And Max Roma needs to go ahead and reply to my affiliate request as well. Listen, we just going to call out brands. I need some brands to start responding, period, point blank. But yes, Game of Joy was definitely one of the ones that was impressive from Scent Explorer. Absolutely. From the house of Destan, and is a good one as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't look checking on your check before it gets mine. Hey. For to get my nose on hypothermia. All right, Frozen. Let's see. What profile do you like most for the warm weather? Really loving metallic scents. Silver Mountain Water, Coach Platinum, Nico Sculptor. For me, for the spring and summer, for those warmer times, I like the fresh. I like the citrus. I like those type of fragrances. Like what I've been going through right now, or what I'm basically planning on, of course, is, if we're talking Yom Leil, their take on Isola Blue from Raja. That's something that is definitely going to get worn, as well as their Triple Sphere, which is their take on Neptune's Trident. So for me, it's the really fresh, the citrusy. Those are the things that I really like in the summer, especially in the high heat summer, right? I will sometimes, just because if I'm working indoors and I'm really just going from my car, or from my house through the garage into the car, and the air is bumping, and I'm getting to, let's say, work, and I'm in an air-conditioned place for most of the day, and then I'm just coming home, I'll probably still wear whatever I want to wear, as far as, because I'm not really worried about the heat. But when I know I'm going to be out, I definitely like those nice, fresh, citrusy type fragrances. Let's get this off here. Let's get that hitting there. All right. So Marion says, was rocking the Coach Platinum today. Somebody told me that there's a Coach Pure Platinum parfum. Want to get my nose on it? Okay, excellent. Oh yeah, Rev, thanks for helping out. If you are watching, if you not hit that like button, hit that like button. Definitely want to see more likes in here. There is 38 I've gotten right now viewing. So definitely make sure you go ahead and hit that like button for me as well. All right, 17 now. Okay, perfect. Everybody's talking there. Recency bias to me, Will. They aren't bad. Okay. Last time I was in Phoenix was in May. So, and May is warm. No question about it. May is warm. It's not as hot as it gets July, August, and September. June, July, August, and then part of September, part of June, all of July, all of August, part of September is when you're going to have that heat, that full-on heat. However, once we get out of there, it's so much better. I love and enjoy. In fact, some of you, Walt, when we were at Scent Explorer, y'all had to convince me to get a coat, because I was coming from 60-degree weather where I didn't need a coat, but I had to bundle up because I was in them New York streets, and it was below zero, and that didn't make no sense. I'm allergic to snow. I've gotten allergic to cold weather. That don't make no sense. So it's really wonderful, especially that time of year where I don't have to worry about any snow. I don't have to worry about any snow. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, when I get Element Delta, they said that they're supposed to ship this week, and I'm trying to get an interview with them after I get my bottle. So after I get my bottle, hopefully I'll be able to have House of Cosmo on so we can have the conversation. I know those of us that were a Scent Explorer got to experience them. I know some of you have started getting some of the Discovery sets or gotten 10 mLs of them. They're a house that's doing some things. I think they're actually working on their second phase right now, is what I've heard. They have some stuff, nothing that is like revolutionary, that is just like going to blow the market or blow everybody away, but just some nice solid stuff that does well. Like I said, Element Delta was the one that for me kind of hit really hard for me. All right. 100 degrees at 9 p.m. is insane. Yep. I agree, but we're used to it now. We're definitely used to it now. 90 degrees at midnight. I was like, this crazy. Yes. Yeah. But again, your body will adjust. After my first year, I'm used to it. I get really cold now when I go to other places. When I go to, like when I was in New York, the first couple of days there, my body was like, what the heck have you done? I was in shock almost, just because it was such a shift. So your body will adjust, right? You may say, well, I don't want to adjust to that. Cool. In fact, we got too many people here in Phoenix anyway. I'm trying to send some people back anyway. All right. We're from House of Cosmo. Yes, sir. AZ heat is much better than this Southern heat. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. It actually is. I can't take the humidity. Absolutely. And yes, Vegas, our weather is very similar to Vegas. Vegas and Phoenix have in fact, most of the times what's happening in Vegas also plays down here as far as weather-wise into Phoenix, or kind of around that same time. Exactly. Let's see what else we got going on here. Arizona's dry. Yes. Well, Texas is, yeah. All right, we'll leave it. I appreciate people in Texas. I appreciate Texas, love Texas, but I wouldn't trade Phoenix for anything. I would definitely, someone asked me recently if I was planning to leave Phoenix. I don't see any reason to leave anyway. Dry heat probably burns off. No, actually, here's the thing. So here's the thing, in having talked with Michael over at Day 3, he makes his fragrances specifically with the heat in mind, or with the climate in Phoenix in mind. He's like, some of his things, he's like, for sure, he's making sure that it works for the weather that we're in, right? So that's why a lot of his things, not everything is, for example, seasonal with him. A lot of things are to be worn pretty much year round if you want to, right? Because he's bearing in mind that there's going to be some days it is 110 degrees, some days it's down to 60s, and of course he has a market of people that are looking for stuff in the where it's cold. So the dry heat, definitely, because there's not that humidity, because you're not doing a whole lot of sweating, your fragrances are staying around. My fragrances stay around. I stay moisturized, of course, lotions, body butters, all that fun stuff. But you don't sweat a lot with it not being a lot high humidity. You don't do a lot of sweating, right? Let's see what else we got here. Joe says, I'm still waiting on fragrance by to put for sale. Mont Blanc Legend Elixir was supposed to be in stock March the 5th. The Legend Elixir, Mont Blanc Legend. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I thought you were talking about as far as the Explorer Extreme, but I haven't seen that. Yes. Marion says, Game of Joy acted funny on my first wearing. I will try again, but wasn't completely impressed. I enjoyed it. I only had a sample. I enjoyed it. I think I did a review on it. I definitely enjoyed Game of Joy. I will probably end up at some point I may just do a 10 ml of it. I probably won't do a full bottle, just because that price is that price. But I'll probably just do a 10 ml of that. And I'm thinking about doing a 10 ml of 12 faces because I did like that when I was there. And I know those are limited. So I've got to figure out if I want to do that anytime soon. So, Jim says, I was enamored at first, Will, but now I'm like, not bad, but not great, as in complex and very different. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. SVT says, very redundant. Okay. Yes. A good answer to the question. Smelled Wave Child first and bought Atlantis to save money. Ended up getting Wave Child anyway. It's been freezing out. So I really haven't worn either of them outside. So then the question is, are you planning on getting rid of one? Are you planning, or are you just going to hold on to them? It's kind of the question there. All right. Marion, like Light Breeze and You, definitely nice. Definitely nice. Let's see. It is outstanding to take on. Yes, in fact, I do have the Blue Island here. This is the Blue Island from Yeoman Lail. And this is their take on Isola Blue. Definitely nice. Definitely one that towards the end of last summer I was wearing. And we're going to wear this again. I really enjoy that. In fact, I'm trying to see if I can get up to Chicago sometime soon and see if I can get up and actually walk into Yeoman Lail. And I might be working on something with House of Dubai. Let me see if I can get into there as well. But definitely Yeoman Lail has got a banger in that one for me, at least. Not everything is again solid. Not everything is a one-to-one. Not everything is perfect, but that's definitely one that was there. All right, let's kind of scroll down. Reverend Rogers says, Chi-Town bias on that cold weather. And listen, when you grow up in an abusive relationship with weather, when you grow up with an abusive relationship from the weather patterns and the weatherman is constantly kicking your tail with negative 30-degree weather, yes, I'm going to have some bias against cold weather. Yes, I am through with cold weather. I do not like snow. I'm allergic to it now. We were in San Antonio and it was a winter weather storm coming in. My apostle, my leader was like, yo, y'all need to get out. We was definitely like, okay, let's change this flight. We're going to get up super early, get to the airport, because I don't like snow. I don't like it. I don't deal with it. I don't work with it. Me and snow have a love-hate relationship. I hate it. Right? I hate it. All right. And that's from growing up in Chicago. Blizzard. I was there for the blizzard of, was it 79? Yeah, I was young. I was 7 years old then. But the blizzards being, school being shut down, wasn't mad at that. The school being shut down, having to, for me, because of where I went to school in relation to where I lived, having to take public transportation to get from my house to the school and then back, and then basketball practice and all that fun stuff. I'm over the snow. I'm over it. I'm over it. All right, let's see what else we got going on. Dutch says, y'all wasn't even in real New York cold in early December, going late January. I'm good. The only reason I was in New York was for Scent Explore. And I'm glad that they are moving it to November this year. In fact, if you haven't already, go ahead, and I recommend checking out your hotel. If you're going to make it, if you're going to work to go to Scent Explore, you can go ahead and reserve a hotel now while the prices are still okay. I predict prices are going to go up as we get closer, just because when I was trying to figure out my hotel last year, it was getting kind of crazy as far as when I was looking, we were seeing prices in the $600 and $700 a night. So my recommendation is, if you're going to go to Scent Explore 2026 in November, reserve your hotel room now. Even if you're out in New Jersey, that's a cheat code right there. Is if you want to, really save some money, you can be out in Newark, New Jersey, and just take the train or catch an Uber over. The Uber is going to probably make up for the difference as far as what you save in the hotel, but that's an option there. But yeah, definitely, I would recommend getting your hotel. Wall said, my back's still hurting from walking. That's because Corey was making things up about, I'm gonna get a car. I can get the cars. No, he just didn't. He had y'all walk and didn't let you all get cars because he wasn't paying for it. Absolutely. But yeah. And then, because like my hotel that I have right now for Scent Explore is really right up the street. Now, my hotel is not going to be $100, $200 a night. Mine is like $250, I think it was, a night, which I'm okay with because we're going to write it off. But it's right up the street. So I can, go over to Sin Explorer. If I want to go back to my hotel, catch a nap and do that, I can do that. But get your hotels now. Get your hotels now. Jason said, I unsubscribed to Walt's channel last night since he didn't play Alexander O'Neal. Let me see if I can, let me see if I can get you some Alexander O'Neal. Because Alexander O'Neal was interesting. Let me just say that. Alexander O'Neal what song was that, Jason, by Alexander O'Neal that you needed to hear? I forgot which one it was. Let's keep going. It's sad, bro. I find myself saving all the good stuff and wearing the other stuff. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. We can go ahead and remove that. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. Buffalo cold should be. I've heard Buffalo is really crazy as far as this cold. I've heard Buffalo is really crazy as far as this weather. I remember I was when I was in college, I was talking about the weather from Chicago. And somebody was like, "Oh, that's nothing." I'm like, "Okay, it's nothing." Like I'm from Buffalo. I'm like, okay. So Buffalo is cold, what I understand. But I don't need, when it comes to the wintertime, if it's prone to snow, unless I really have to be there, I don't make trips there. I don't. Going to Chicago from Chicago to Arizona. So I've lived a few different places. I was born and raised in Chicago. When I went to school, I went to Atlanta for 2 years, went back to Chicago, went to Tulsa. So I lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which, yeah, that's a whole other thing. Got married. We went out to DC, Maryland, and Virginia for a little bit. Then we moved back to Tulsa, and then from Tulsa here. So I've been kind of making my way around the country, but I'm settled and solid right now. But yes, once I got here and realized that I can have Thanksgiving out in my backyard, and enjoy the weather. When I realized that, for example, we could buy our kids bikes for Christmas and they could go out and ride them the same day, I was like, yeah, Phoenix is good. I'm good with Phoenix. Walt said, walk with all them bags. Yes, listen. I couldn't live in New York. Well, I could live in New York from the aspect of it would definitely help me lose weight because I would be walking all the doggone time. There was so much walking we did when we were in New York, and part of it was we were walking around in circles for that one night. That one night we went into Soho, in that area. We were walking around in circles. We walked around in a big circle for whatever reason. Got to see a couple of things, of course, but yes, we did a lot of walking in New York. Yes. Let's see what else. Dorothy Blue is almost empty. Is there a better clone of Bulgari Tigar? Not that I don't think I have any other Tigar clones. Yeah, I don't know. Chat, if y'all can help, I don't have any other Tigar clones. I have the Tarathi Blue, and that's it. That's the only one that I have right now. Otto says, might have to come join you. Switching from medical field to tech. I am told AZ is booming for tech jobs. It is, and that's what I'm working. I've got another interview. Well, I just had an interview today. Hopefully that interview will turn into another interview by the end of this week, early next week. Tech is beautiful. And I love tech because tech most of the times will give you remote, and they will give you a lot of vacation time, right? Definitely, I love the unlimited PTO. I love remote. I can do remote, no problem. But that unlimited PTO, that's a flex, right? Especially because if you're working remote and you're not as customer facing, or if you're customer facing, you can kind of schedule kind of what I do with things. I can, especially being remote, I can run out, go where I need to go during the day, and then jump back. So absolutely. But Arizona is nice for tech, but you don't have to, as far as tech jobs, you don't have to necessarily be in Arizona. Tech jobs, a lot of them are remote. So I definitely recommend, if you have any experience, and this is my tip, if you have any experience with customer service, if you have any experience with training, if you have any experience with customer service, customer support, definitely look into customer success jobs, look into onboarding or implementation jobs. Definitely look into those type of roles, customer support roles, because those roles or those things transfer very well. If you can explain things and teach people and train people stuff, those things translate very well. And tech is a nice way to be in. Nice way to be in. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. Dutch says, and that man had y'all in a Tesla. So y'all had no heat outside the venue. Tesla heat systems. Yes, he had us in that Tesla. It was me, Walt was in the front, me, Mo, and John in the back. And I admit, I between me and John, poor Mo was being crushed probably between the two of us. But and he was whipping around them streets. But yeah, that's the story of that guy. All right. Walt said, don't talk about it. Absolutely. Want to fight the dude. I'm telling you, he missed a deadline. It's I can just even say this. What he doesn't know, and if he's watching, he'll figure it out soon enough. Walt, you know this. Jason, you know this. My daughter's graduating in a very few weeks. She's graduating in a few weeks from law school. Yeah, she's graduated from law school, and my daughter loves her daddy. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that. That's all I'm gonna say on that. All right. Let's see what else. SVT, I work with Joel Lamar today based on your recommendations. Still haven't got my notes on Montclair Sunrise. Now, Walt, because you are, I know you, it's the Montclair. Is it the Sunrise or the Pour Home that you are talking about? Because I think I saw the Pour Home, but I thought originally you may have been talking Sunrise. But I think it's let me know, because I'm definitely looking at the next thing being, or one of the things I have kind of in the cart might be Montclair. All right. Bishop says Phoenix is nice, almost moved there, may still do it. The heat is manageable. Thank you. You're absolutely right. It is definitely manageable. It's definitely workable. Absolutely. And Phoenix is beautiful. Going up into the mountains. In fact, if you come to Phoenix, you got to go up South Mountain. It's a little drive, just go up there, but you got to go up to South Mountain and actually check out the view. You can see all of the valley from there. Really great view, really great, great atmosphere up there. So I love Phoenix because I get the beauty of the mountains. I get the city. If I really want to get to anywhere, LA is 6 hours away. Vegas is 4 hours away. If I ever want to go down to Tucson for who knows, whatever reason, Tucson is an hour and a half away. So yeah, San Diego is like 5 hours away. So Phoenix is perfectly positioned. Tasmania says in Chicago, you got to try Citadel perfumes similar to Yamaleo. Okay, I'll definitely have to check it out. Let's see what else we got going on. Jason said Corey was with them dudes who robbed Roger Dove. Yes. Someone stole some bottles from La. See, that's the thing. So one of the things I'm thinking about doing is I'm thinking about, and one of the reasons I'm looking to go to ASD is also because I'm thinking about at some point starting a store. I'm thinking about starting a store here. There's not really anything here in Phoenix that does what I want to do on the level that I think it should be done. So I'm thinking about that, but I may start again retail as far as online. I already got the domain registered and everything. So I may do something online, but my only caveat is I'm a little afraid of the robbery because we got some thugs here in Phoenix. There's no question about it. We got some folks here in Phoenix, and so it's just a matter of how I would kind of position all that and have that squared away so that I minimize that. But yeah, that's just crazy. All right. Jason said, "If you were here tonight," by Alexander O'Neill. Okay, I'll try and see if I can cue that up in a little bit, and maybe we close out with that. All right. Let's see what else we got going here. David says, just got done reattaching a shingle and sealing up a chimney in the dark. So the day was John Varvados, Artisan Teal. Nice. Could live in Soho. See, New York is too crowded for me. That's the thing, is New York is too crowded for me. Because one of the reasons I love Phoenix is because Phoenix is huge. Phoenix is definitely a city, but it doesn't feel huge, right? It doesn't feel packed. Phoenix has, I forget how many million people we have here. We're like fifth in the country, but it doesn't feel crowded. New York feels crowded. New York feels claustrophobic to me. So I don't know that I could necessarily live in Phoenix. I couldn't necessarily live in Soho. It just feels too crowded for me. Oh yeah, I know he's obsessed. He didn't respond, but I know he obsessed. Yes, sir. Let's see what else we got. Great Lakes for basic training and a school code like no other. Okay, cool. Yeah, someone else is. So I think it was Otto. Was it you? Plenty of tech cybersecurity jobs, what they do out in DMV. Problem is cost of living here is insane. Yeah, and again, if you're looking at tech jobs, a lot of them you can do remote. A website that I'm using right now that I think is very helpful is called Welcome to the Jungle. That's LinkedIn is okay. LinkedIn has its good benefits, but there's some other challenges as far as sometimes what's on LinkedIn. But Welcome to the Jungle is another one that you may check out for, especially if you're looking for tech jobs. That may be a good one for you to check out. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. Kind of skip through. Kind of see. Dutch, you gonna open a store too? Where at? Because Dutch, where are you at? But yeah, I would definitely, because I would definitely love to start a store to get Corridor funded. Yeah, right. With that 250, that $50 million loan. Phoenix is yes, Phoenix is massive. But the other thing about Phoenix that I think really, as far as changes how people view Phoenix is one big city, but it's surrounded by small cities. So like you have, and these are probably places that you've heard of, Scottsdale, Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, Tempe. They're suburbs of Phoenix. So whereas in Chicago is huge, but then the suburbs are small. And, people, may only have a suburb that like 3,000 or 4,000 people live in. In Phoenix, the suburbs have hundreds of thousands of people in them as well, which is what contributes to me, in my opinion, that it doesn't feel crowded, because even if you live in a suburb, you're living in a city, but it's still spread out, right? So yeah, Phoenix is definitely way bigger than it looks. And I think it's kind of slept on. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. Okay, Dutch, you in OKC? Okay. One of my boys is in OKC. In fact, he's in Edmond, Oklahoma. And I've been through OKC a few times. I've been through OKC quite a few times. Yeah. So I know where you're at. Sent boss, I worked from home 5 days a week since COVID, and the current admin is trying to revoke that perk. I'm currently fighting it and still working from home as a result. Yeah. Listen, I love working remote. Right now I'm looking for anything as far as remote, or if I got to go into the office, but my choice, remote. Because I can plan my day accordingly. If I need to run out to do an errand, I can do that, and then I can get right back to it. Absolutely. Dutch says Scottsdale got some car homies out there. Yeah, Scottsdale, and here's the thing: you would think that Scottsdale would be flush with niche stores, right? You would think that they've got, of course, the mall that has a Neiman's, it has a Dillard's, a Macy's, and a Nordstrom's, right? So you've got some selection there. And then there's this one little place in North Scottsdale called Cosbar, which is just, they only have like Parfums de Marley, Creed, MFK, Ex Nihilo, and Initio. That's pretty much all they have. So I'm definitely trying to bring out some of the other stuff that would be here. So Wall says, I don't smoke, but the dispensaries are crazy. Yes, they are. They are absolutely all over the place here in Phoenix. So if that's your thing, you got plenty of options, plenty of choices. And there's some places where you can catch a contact high just from driving past because it's so strong in the area. It's so strong. Wall says he's trying to pull up in Sedona. Yeah. Sedona is about 2 hours north of Phoenix. So yeah, you would fly into Phoenix and then just rent a car or whatever, drive up there. Sedona's nice. Sedona is a nice viewpoint area. It's a nice area to just kind of get back to nature. A lot slower than Phoenix, as it were. It's kind of up in the mountains and in the valleys and whatnot. But yeah, Sedona's nice. Sedona's a good area. All right. Thank you for the smell goods. I have a lot of skills that you mentioned. Been in medical for 18 years, both clinical and admin, and a super user for Epic, and getting ServiceNow admin cert. Yeah, so I mean, whatever it may take, as far as just figure out how to translate those skills. And again, I'm gonna give you a plug. Use AI. Use Claude. Have Claude put your resume into Claude. Have Claude basically give you as far as the job description, and then put the job description in. And then have Claude help you to identify what are the transferable skills for that job description, and then use that optimized resume. But definitely, it's easy to make that transition. There is a lot of competition right now, just because some companies are saying they're hiring, but they're not really hiring. But definitely make sure that you optimize that resume and get it out there. Absolutely. That Sedona Resort is elite. Yes. We haven't gone up to Sedona as far as staying in the resort. We've kind of driven past it, driven through it, but yeah. Y'all got to tap into Lachey's laments. Lachey, I need to reach out to you. I need to get on them butters. I keep hearing about the butter, so I gotta check into the butters. Got to check into it. All right. Bishop says, born and raised in the Big Apple, also visited Buffalo in frozen winter, just like you, Kevin. I'm done. My friends up there have aged more than I did. No more cold. Listen, it's a reason that most of the NBA, NFL players will come out here and they'll retire in Arizona, is because that weather, the weather down here it's kind of almost refreshing. It feels different, but it's almost a great place. I know Jim McMahon retired down here and said that it really helped his body after the NFL. So absolutely. Went from Phoenix to Antelope Canyon. Yeah. Listen, and you going up and through mountains. Now, in order to get in and out of Phoenix, you got to go through mountains. Absolutely. But I'm gonna tell you that mountain coming down out of the mountains out of Flagstaff into Phoenix, you got to do that during the daytime, and the speed limit is the very maximum that you want to go, just because them turns, them curves and whatnot. And you'll see when you're driving down from Flagstaff into Phoenix, you'll see like the tread marks of trucks that have had to brake really fast. They even have designated areas where trucks will be able to run off the road if they need to because of failed brakes and stuff like that. So, yeah. Yes, sir. Wait, Bam Adebayo hit 83? Who they playing? All right, let's go through. Ralph, good to see you. Yeah, never too late. Good to see you, Ralph. Thanks again for the interview last week. Definitely appreciate you stopping through. It's not going to be the last time we have you on, of course. Ralph is always a great conversation. In fact, I'll probably text you tomorrow, just your thoughts on something. So, but definitely thank you for stopping through, Ralph, and appreciate you. Sunrise beautiful. Yes. Yeah. See, Phoenix is beautiful. Phoenix is amazing. All right, let's kind of scroll down through. They playing the Wizards. Okay. It's the Wizards. It's the Wizards. Yeah, the runoff joints. Pennsylvania has lots of those too. Yeah, that runoff joint. When I first saw that, I was like, "That's crazy." But again, I will not trade this region, this area for anything. All right. Let's see what else we got to talk about. Really, this is just, I wanted to main thing was talk about and give you all the heads up because for those of you that came in a little late, one of the things that I talked about a little early was the impact that the war, and let's call it what it is, it's a war, the impact that the war is having or going to have potentially. We recognize it right now just as far as the impact on gas, right? But when we think about what that means for everything else, because things are locked up right now in the Middle East, we're probably going to see prices start to shift even on fragrances because they're going to become, especially for the Middle Eastern brands, they may have the potential to become a little more scarce because Iran is saying that they're not letting anybody out of that area right now. So stuff that normally comes on ships from the Middle East, we might have some problems or have some issues as far as it getting here, which means that we could, in theory, we could start to see prices of even clone fragrances start to go up a little more just because they got to factor in the cost of shipping. They got to factor in the cost of getting it here and all that fun stuff. So my advice to everyone is, again, sample, make sure you know what you're getting. I'm getting it together. It's, and again, Walt, shout out to Walt because Walt is leading the way in this, but I was planning on even getting together like a decant site because I've got too much stuff here that I know I'm not going to go through. And I know some of you have been like, what does that smell like? So I may probably have in the coming weeks, have 5 and 10 mLs available of some things out of my collection. And so we'll probably do that. And I'm working on trying to see if I can get some connections for taking that even to another level where instead of maybe you going to Joma Shop, there may be some things that you can purchase from Smell Goods Fragrances and stuff like that. So just to kind of put a bug in your ear, I know Walt is probably working on something very similar as well, but that's kind of just the way that we're going to operate in this community as well as it is. All right. Let's see what else. Okay, absolutely. Simba says I drove from Virginia Beach, Virginia to California, and Flagstaff, Arizona was no joke. Yes. Me and my buddy, when my wife and I moved here to Phoenix, my buddy helped me drive. We drove from Tulsa straight through, so a straight 20 hours, us switching back and forth from Tulsa through Oklahoma City through Flagstaff and down into Phoenix. And it was there's some patches where it's just desert. There's just nothing there, especially when you get into like New Mexico. But then when you get into Arizona and start hitting the mountains is crazy. Mountains is crazy. All right. Ralph says, yes, British Airways just canceled all their flights to Abu Dhabi until the end of this year. Now that right there. So here's the question also, because now that brings up what happens to Beauty World. What happens to that, right? Because Beauty World is in Dubai. So does Beauty World continue? Does Beauty World actually happen? And if it does happen, what does that mean, right? Beauty World that's something in Ralph, I don't know if you have any insight into that, but that's something else I was thinking about is that will impact things like Beauty World. I don't know what it'll do as far as the other ones like TFW and some of the other things, but it's going to impact things, right? Plane tickets are going to be impacted. They're being impacted already. I can tell you that much right now, but they're going to be impacted even more. being able to fly to certain places is going to be impacted. There's lots of things that are going to be impacted. And so just being mindful of those things that are happening and being mindful of what that looks like, because we're in a war, whether we want to say it or not, whether or not they want to put it on the news. We are absolutely right now in a war, and it's going to have lots of impact all across the board on a variety of things that we do that impact us, that impact our daily lives. So just my thought is, again, we can of course come here and talk about fragrances because that's what we do, that's what we enjoy. But at the end of the day, we also live in a real world. And so being mindful of those things that are around us and what that will impact and have to go on for us, that's it. So absolutely. Absolutely. All right. See what else. Ross says, some of my fragrance influencer friends in Dubai told me that the government is only allowing flights for people who are stranded there. So there's a flight ban until the end of March. Yeah. Yeah. So right now, it's looking like unless things drastically shift, and I think things are going to get, in my opinion, I think these are going to get a little worse before they get better. So yes, I'm not planning to go to Beauty World this year. Absolutely not. Even if there was no issues as far as me just being able to fly out there, what have you, with all that's going on, there's no way I would be going to Beauty World right now. All right. Here's something. So Rob says, anyone plan to go to Paris Perfume Week in April, let him know. So definitely, yes, let Rolf know if you're going to go to Paris Perfume Week. Definitely you want to, Rolf will make sure that you at least have some idea of where to go and what to do with that. So thank you for that, Rolf. Absolutely. Make sure you have passports up to date. Yes, absolutely. Make sure you have passports up to date and multiple ways to prove you are a U.S. citizen when moving around. And again, I am not a conspiracy theorist. I am a practical or a critical thinker. Have exit strategies as well. Have exit plans as well. I'm just have your passport in place, but be thinking about if something breaks out, if something goes crazy, where can I get to? I know the highway I can take to get over to Mexico if I need to. So make sure you have passport. Make sure you have the real ID. Make sure you have those things so that, yes, you can prove who you are and that you can move as you need to move. All right. So I may just have to hold off on purchasing for a while until things calm down since I have a big collection already. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Or it may be declutter and use that to purchase or whatever it may be. It may not be a full-on big bottle. It may be 10 mLs. It may be decants, right? Especially if you have big collection, unless you are like those of us that do this as far as content, it may not be something that you necessarily need to have, right? If I weren't doing content, a lot of this would probably be kind of probably off the table, right? As Walt says, these bottles are checking in, they're tapping in, they're on the street, as it were. They are making money, right? But if it were just me having this bottle and me just in commenting and not actually being here as a creator, yeah, I probably wouldn't have this the way I have it right now. All right. From now until May are truly crucial for the remainder of the perfume schedule for the year. Yeah. And that's why I think that we need to kind of at least have that kind of running around in the back of our mind, even right now, because at the end of the day, where things are, where I think things will be going and the rate that they're going to go, I think that a lot of things that we don't think will be impacted in a major way. I think we're going to see things impacting the fragrance market in a real way. Not immediately, but it is one of those things like Raf is saying, that these things are going to impact what's happening later on. Absolutely. I would even say the impact even of what's happening right now won't be felt for a few months, but it will still impact in some ways, right? And we just have to be mindful and say, okay, this is what this kind of came from. So when we do see prices start to go up a little more, this is what that came from. This thing is going to, it has the potential to really shift some things because, again, we're being gaslit right now. We're being told it's not a war, but it has all the markings of a war. It has all the markings of a war. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. All right. Facts, yes. The thing escalate everything international is a wrap. Yes. Yeah. It will be one of those things that you'd have to move very carefully. Move very carefully with intentionality, right? When I say that, I have at least an exit of where we might go if something happens here, then we're looking at, and I'm just going to be honest, there are still countries that we're looking at is if we needed to completely expatriate, as it were, if we needed to necessarily get out of the country, as it were, we're looking at what countries we could maybe get to that might, one, take us in, B, where places where we could just kind of be there and would probably be less likely to be impacted by everything else that's going on, right? So we're looking at places like Nigeria. We're looking at places like Kenya. We're looking at places like Ghana. So we're looking at places like that. We're even looking at places maybe in South America and Central America that if we need to kind of dip there for a little bit. So if things continue to escalate the way they are, things internationally are going to be kind of, as far as fragrance, is going to be a wrap. But just as far as even how things may be on for us as citizens, may be a change as well. All right. Sintball says a war we engineered for ulterior motives. Unfortunately, history repeats itself. And let me also say this. Because y'all know I pastor, y'all know I'm in ministry and all that fun stuff. The audacity, the stupidity, the ignorance to think that you could engineer the second coming of Christ by starting a war. That's crackhead behavior. Excuse me. That's meth head behavior. That's just crazy talk, right? And that's what has been rumored as far as what some people have said that they've been told from military personnel, military leaders, is that this is supposed to be a war of biblical proportions and biblical impact and blah, blah, blah. No, you just trying to cover for the Epstein files. That's really what this is about. That's really what this is about. Sorry. All right. 10 mLs does make a lot of sense for the time being. Absolutely. Yeah. Not everything, there's some things that will probably end up in my collection as a 10 ml. Like I mentioned, 12 faces. I'm probably going to just look at getting the 10 ml and not get a full bottle. That's just my thoughts. All right. I don't know. I haven't smelled that one. Couldn't tell you. I hope that's not for me. But okay. Appreciate it. What's y'all's thoughts on Burlington 1819? I see Yaman Lel just released one. Been waiting to get a decant. So I like Burlington 1819. That is definitely one of the ones that was on my list. In fact, shout out to Dedrick. Dedrick Hicks gave me a decant of Burlington 1819, and I wore it out. I definitely enjoyed it. So I will be interested to see what the Yeoman Lel version smells like. So see how that might be. But Burlington 1819 is a nice, solid, in my opinion, nice fragrance for spring, for summer. Definitely grown manish type scent. Not old man, but definitely kind of a mature man type fragrance, right? My thoughts. Okay. Speaking of crackheads and meth heads. All right, what's up, Wilcher Mafia? Good to see you. All right, listen, that's it, y'all. I've stayed on here long enough. I normally try to do an hour to an hour and a half. So I definitely appreciate you all stopping through. Didn't get a chance to talk a lot about bottles just because we were going through the comments and what have you. But I have a review that I just did on this. So definitely make sure you check that out if you have not already. Trying to think what else. As far as other reviews, I have got a review probably coming of like the Lodge Island Dreams or something like that. And a couple other things, and then I'll get back to some more of my videos. But and if you haven't already, make sure you are make sure you have hit the like button here, and then make sure you give me a follow over on Instagram. I promise I'm getting ready to get more active on Instagram and really ramp up over there too, and kind of really manage the two. But that's it. That's it for this one. Listen, I appreciate each and every one of you. Before we head out, I'm going to give all of you all another sneak peek at my new intro. So if you missed it at the beginning, you can catch it now. And then we'll go ahead and close out. Again, appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a great evening and be blessed. All right.
Yeah, pull up feeling like a whole millie. Smell good. They know the vibe is really silly. Got that fresh cologne, now she wanna get with me. Stepping out the whip, the whole city smelling me. Smell good.